Morning, morning, morning. Just give it a couple more minutes, guys, and then get started. So we got this one up, start with a negative first day. But having said that, it seems to be trying to recover, give it its due. Came pretty close to stop loss, but at least it didn't hit it. So, yeah. But the guys, I wish they'd still hang around with Hewlett Packard, eh? See it now, 27.50. Yeah, pity. Having the fattest worm, yeah. Morning, Jacob. Okay, good morning, guys. Half past. Let's get started. To start off with the negative, got in this one as a trading signal at 91.08. It's now what? 30. Is that 30? Yeah, 30 pips down. But trying to look at the bright side, it's better than being what it was before. About 70 pips down at one stage at yesterday's low. So yeah, well, yesterday's low was worse than that. Worse than that, came right down here at one stage, 23 from there, 50, 80 pips down. So yeah, if we didn't hit the stop, sticking with a strategy might work out. Still a bit of way to go just to break even, but what the hell, we're still in it, hasn't been stopped out. So just let it run, just starting off with that. Now we go to the open, well, we go to the next one, which is a closed trade, hit the TP, which I think we all know about, the excitement of the trading room yesterday. And it came off nicely and hit the TP. Just let these guys in, excuse me a second. Ah, well, Ken, there you are. There you are. Now everyone's wishing they'd gone in bigger. I wish they'd sold the AUD and all the rest of it against the dollar. But, you know, went the other way like it did last week with the seed. with the PP, I think it was on the pound, where it went the opposite way. Now you're all cursing and wishing you weren't going in smaller. It's always easy after the event, but I take it. But look, at least you banked it, and that's the major thing. And yeah, so what was it? What was it again? 1917 was the TP. It was 100 pips below the TP. Some guys actually managed to be on the ball and modify the TP downwards and modify the stops. They squeezed another few pips out of it. So bottom line is, I think Gerard did that. I think he's joined us now. Yeah, did that as well. So that was a beauty. And that's how the trades are supposed to go. Not trying to take profit too quickly, riding the winner. So if you make a couple of losses, the winner should override it. I posted something quickly, just a simple thing there on the group about how 3 losses and 2 wins, and yet you did okay on the 2 wins because you're riding the wins, not riding the losses, which is the natural thing to do, unfortunately. But anyway, so that was a beaut. Now we've got still another 3 yesterday. Was another open trade, GBP AUD, which we got in at, let's have a look here, 973. And that's starting to look a lot prettier, bouncing a bit. Looking a lot pretty about 15 minutes ago when we were 73, yeah, about 60 pips in profit. But it's having a bit of a bounce at the moment. But anyway, this happened. The noise, as we all know, up and down. And so we're still about 40, just over 40 pips in profit. So I'm assuming some guys are in this one. Vicky, just a reminder, if you get, think you're on my group, I will post the banner, but not the details. You get the banner and you don't get the details, you just send me a quick WhatsApp and I'll copy and paste the details for you. Okay, so gentlemen in. Ricky Henning, you guy. So anyway, I'm assuming some guys are in this. And if you are, that's fine. You're in what, about just over 40 pips profit. Normal story if you like, don't have to, but you can modify if you want to break even. It's far enough away from where it is now, just to protect yourself and squeeze a bit more out of it, hopefully. Good, Ken. So yeah, I don't know, you receive the banner. There you are, Vicky. So next time you get that banner, just say, yeah, give it a couple of minutes. The officer's got to post the signal details. But about 2-3 minutes later, it's still not. Just send a quick WhatsApp, details please, or whatever, and I know what you mean. I'll WhatsApp them through. I hope it doesn't happen to everybody, because by the time I got through the 100th person, the ship has sailed. I just hope they get it out a little bit quicker. One of they understand the urgency. These things can move. You get lucky, to be fair. It comes out a bit later, and you're suddenly getting a better price. But often you're missing the ship has sailed, missing the boat. Anyway, okay, moving on from there. You see a bit of noise now, it's coming off a bit more. So I suggest you protect yourself, get your stop just below, excuse me, break even entry point. So you're covered, and hope we get another nice one on this one. Where's the TP? 77.65. There's quite a way to go. Speak my own language. Quite a way to go before we get the TP if it should happen. But at least now you know you're protected. Okay. So GBP USD TP EUR-JPY, it's still down, but it seems to be recovering. So there you run. And this one's in profit. And yeah, figures looking much better. Okay. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Have a tea here. Okay. Okay, so there we are. So that's not too bad. Let's just go to the economic calendar here for today. Right, just get this out of the way so I can read it. Right, we've had the EUR, that's German industrial production, retail sales came out. Production was higher than expected, but retail sales was interesting, was down. Bit of a contradiction, but that's what happened. I'm not sure it moved the euro much on that. 12 o'clock, by the way, on the euro, don't forget, Lagarde is speaking at 12. And we also got the if I get this right here, the GDP on the GBP, gross domestic product on the pound. It's a bit easier, okay. It's coming out year on year and quarterly, also at 12 o'clock. Just remember that's coming out. And then we've got some stuff coming out later on the Americans, and Powell again is speaking again tonight. And don't forget, from an oil perspective, 5:30, I think it is crude oil inventories coming out in the States. Just so you all know that. I'm going to do my normal story and copy and paste it on the chat line. Those who don't have it, you know the score. Save it. There's the economic calendar. Check it through. Notice I've included 2 as well as 3-star, but you must look at it. You know, the 2-star count, but clearly it's not as important as the 3. I just take that into account. So more information. I'll thank Mr. Fine for that. We promised to do it for the last week or 2. And that's what yesterday. I'm going to stop promising getting around to it, actually doing it. So thanks once again, Fani. I thought you, I thought, well, to kick your ass to do it. So I've modified it to the filter that is to 2 and 3-star. Then we're getting some more information, which does seem to count quite right. And now I have to rely less on Fani to remind me. Okay, so yeah, so copy and paste that. And I'm going to give you the dollar index as well, if you haven't got it, and see a few names there that might not have it. Copy and paste that and keep an eye on it. Obviously, the dollar, you need to know what's going on with the dollar. It affects everyone. Okay, right. So that's doing okay. We're out of the dollar. Maybe some people still in the dollar, pound dollar. If you are modify stock, you're in a radical profit at the moment. But I think most people are trading out of that at the moment. I've hit the TP or the modify stop and got stopped out in a nice profit. If anyone's still in it, they can let me know and we'll have a relook at it. It's not much point if you're not. The way it's going, my friend, it's more like a case of single malt. That would be definitely, I'll get around to it, job that. Remember years ago, this is when I say years ago, I mean many, many years ago, a sales guy was telling me, a lot of people said, I'll get around to it. So he cut out a nice circle of a piece of paper and put TUIT on that circle, posted it to his clients. He said you're going to get around to it. Now you've got a round to it. Yeah, I'm seeing some short coming up on that one actually. Give it that moment. So yeah, so before we do that, quick look at gold. A lot of people might think we might get a bounce here. It came off nicely, a lot of help from Powell. I think it's going to go sideways at the moment. Powell could confirm it, more downside, might even break 1800, or he might ease up a bit and you can maybe get a little bit of a sort of technical bounce. Bottom line is just quickly go over gold. If you're not in it, don't get cute with it at the moment. Don't think, oh, it's come off now, I'm going to buy it up for no other reason because it came off. It could consolidate. There will be some buyers coming in for what we just mentioned, but I think let's just take it easy on that one. Wait till all the noise gets out of the way. Okay. NAS, right, we'll start with the Dow. Now, look at that. Now, in my, so I'll put on the daily quickly. In my opinion, would it come off yesterday? It could come off quite a lot, yeah. In my opinion, it could have come off more. There's a lot of movement, dollar strengthened, etc. But I think the response here wasn't as great as I would have expected, considering the rest of the market. So, yeah. So basically, I think it's lagging. So I'm seeing some more downside. So I'm looking for a short on this one on the NAS, but I'm going to be quite honest, Gerard, guys. I'm pretty damn nervous about it. Yeah, I'd like to short it, but I think I'm going to be a chicken here and leave it alone. If we can. So I'm just putting up a bit of a background like here. That music to some, to me, it's a bit of a racket there. No, like I said, knowledge. Okay. Where were we? So yeah, keep an eye on this in the NAS. If we can get a better price, we can short it down. But technically speaking, I'll be honest, I'm being a bit chicken here. It's broken below, it's come back and testing that was resistance, now support. And as you can see, that little wick there, it's a little bit of defense is coming in. So I do see downside, but if you do want to take it, obviously it have to be the micro with a massive stop, and that might not be a good, really massive stop. 700 pips is a bit much. So Dear. I want to do it. Yeah, maybe on a 4-hour up here, maybe a bit further up. It's too far. Maybe something like that. It's a possibility, but I don't know. I think there'll be more of the same at 5 o'clock today from Powell. And maybe just more of a confirmation. I think I'm personally speaking, I want to do it, but I think I'm just missing out or get a better price. Okay, but I like that. Same story in the NAS, by the way. So those who have Rambos, they're a bit more aggressive to short it. But it's going to be a bit wussish like me. I think I'm going to risk missing out and leave it for now. Okay, ADJPY. We've got a sell. We've got a buy on this one. So clearly, I can't say no after that one. I can't say Jacob to sell it because if I said that after yesterday getting out a buy on it, that's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So I'm headed to say that. But never mind just the fact I got it out yesterday, and I'm telling everyone now to short it in the middle of a trade. What's going on? I'm not so sure. It is battling to break up, but I'm not so sure that I would be selling it. I think personally, stay out of it at this stage, and if you're in it, hold on. Remember, we got 2 decent trades out yesterday, one great one and one's a nice profit. We know that out of 3, in theory, one should go astray, but this one hasn't gone astray yet. So bottom line is, I would just hold on to that one if you're in, leave it alone if you're not. Shouldn't have hit your stop loss, this one. Didn't get down there. It was 115 to stop. As you can see on there, it just broke just below 30 and bounced. You should still be in it. If you're out, you either modified it or you got in the wrong place. You should still be in it. But if you want to do it, it's up to you. But I personally am certainly not going to advise to sell it now. I'm going to say stick with the trade, but don't open a new one. Simple as that. Okay. Any comments? Sorry, Nigel, you asked about gold. Just mentioned gold, leave it alone. Okay, I gave the reasons why. Yeah, just because it came off, will it bounce? Profit taking, yes. The extent of it's already had about $4 or $5 jump. The extent of it, not sure. Sideways. Look at the dollar index; it's hovering around the 105.70 for the last 3 or 4 hours. Most of the profit takers are cleared out of gold. Now it's going to, in my opinion, hang along with a few small dollar range. Waiting for the next news bulletin to move it to continue the down or maybe get a bounce. I wouldn't preempt that. Yeah, if you're still hold on. Yeah. Okay, so you're still in for a long hold on. Don't enter. We're all clear on that. Yeah, it did come close. What we're on now, the 4 hours, fine. Came down to, oh God, it didn't come down close. Yeah, I didn't know it came as close as that. Talk about flirting with the stop loss. We had it at 91.15. Wow. Very close, but never mind, it didn't. And hopefully it'll get some follow through. But if it does, leave it as is. If it does, your profits on the other 2 should have more than made up for that. So it should be net profit. And yet we're not going to give up on this one as yet. Okay, I'm all clear on that. Okay. 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 Right. GBP CHF has got a bit of a possibility. I'll do GBP JPY first. I looked at possibility, but I'm not sure now. I've got this also as a sell, but 4 hours giving me jip. The weekly, that's trying to break through, and the daily popped up a bit. So the hourly, yeah, it seems to be popping up and coming off. I see the chance of a sell on this one with a TP. Yeah, we can get a 2-to-1 as a sell. It's broken below that support area, come back and test it, and the sellers came in. My only worry is it hadn't quite cleanly broke through on the weekly, and the 4 hour is still holding on the 100-day. But keep an eye on that one. I think that's a possibility of a sell. If it gets back up a little bit, maybe we can sell it down, but I think that's a possibility of that one. I'm not over keen to try and jump in now, but if you persuade me and you're excited about it, we'll look at the calculator. Okay. Let's have a look there, Vicky. Take you long, not short. Oh, I'd be very crying. Yeah, some degrees actually. Have a look. Yeah, there's a bit of noise there. Any sellers coming in? Look, as it comes off, the buyers are coming on the 4-hour. And how was this? And not even 2-hour old, this candle. Okay. Look at the 1 hour. Comes off, the buyers are coming in. You might get a break further upwards. I would suggest, instead of taking it, I would suggest maybe modify your stop into profit, give it a bit of a room to play with, don't get it too close, and maybe, you know, who knows, Powell might help it going further up. So I think rather than close it, I tell you why I'm not too keen to close it, is because look at that, as it comes off, the buyers quickly come in. So it might consolidate with another move up. Not much of a pullback on that one. So just make sure you don't lose in the trade by modifying, but keep distance. And then, yeah, you might get further, might get some more out of it, more juice out of it, for whatever way to put it. That's right, anyway. Okay, hope you're happy with that. Good. The other one I'm looking at, I think it's a possibility of a market sell on this one. I mentioned it regrettably, we didn't do it a couple of days ago. Saw it, looked at it, went on to something else, forgot to revisit. I had it written down, forgot other stuff came in. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Just tended to miss it. Okay, but never having said that, it's come off quite a bit. And look at this resistance, now support. Okay, now we're going to go to the 4-hour. As you can see, as it goes up, the sellers are coming in. Let's have a look at the weekly. You know, I know there's quite a bit of resistance there to break through. So that is a little bit of a worry. But as it breaks up on the hourly, the sellers are coming in. 15 minutes. On the 15-minute, for what it's worth, the 15 minutes holding, I think it's a possibility of a downside on this one. Question is, do you wait for a better price? Do you wait for confirmation, or do you enter now? Or nothing at all? But I think it's a possibility of this. I think it might be chasing a bit there, but admirers, to be honest. Seem to be pumping. Yeah, it's 79.85. So we're nice in, well, we are in profit, aren't we? 70 pips in profit. Hope you all modified your stop. There's no buyers coming in, sellers, so I take your point entirely. I just feel it's going to get a bit of noise at the round figure 1.79. We'll see what that level of noise is, but I think you might get a profit-taking bit of noise there. So chasing it now, you might get a bounce, 20 pip bounce for coming off again. That's up to you if you're a short-term guy, but just be aware of that. But everyone else, I think, rather enjoy the ride, but don't try and add to it or jump in now. Okay. 12 o'clock as well, don't forget. 12 o'clock, correct. GDP on the GBP. Bit of a tongue twister that. Coming out at 12, quite right. Okay, so just a reminder that, Marius, I'm not sure I'll be jumping in now. I think enjoy the ride we got at the moment, leave it for a moment. Protect yourself, you're already in, but I'm not sure I'll be joining it now. Yeah, okay, we're agreed on that. Fine. 98.5, ignore the point, it means 7898. Maybe below 90 might be a better point. But we'll see anyway. See how the fund is affected well. But I'll leave that in your capable hands. What's that group for signals? Okay, we'll come to that in a moment. What was it? Oh yeah, GBP CHF. Just come back to that in a minute, Alfred. Good point there. For GBP CHF. So yeah, it's coming off. Anybody want to join this? We can take a stop. Yeah, about there, about 75 pips, and then we can look at maybe a breakdown here, which will definitely give you maybe down here, but give it to you. Yeah, let's squeeze it down to about that level there. I see some more downside. my view is you can see for the last, since October, what's that now? 5 months, it's backing to break lower. In fact, because of that, I'm tend to be a little less enthusiastic. So I'm trying to get a trade, but maybe I'm pushing a bit hard there. I see the short get a better price. Does anyone want to look at this and further? I've changed my mind. I don't want to chase it. 5 months before breaking through that worries me. I just say 12 o'clock. GBP's coming out with figures. Yeah, leave it alone. We had a good day yesterday, but let's not start chasing it for the sake of it. Sorry, guys, changed my mind. It's a possibility, but I think that chip sell will get a better price. I think so as well. I think the problem is I think you're going to miss that. I think you probably come off on an opening. Okay. I wouldn't be chasing, or can't now anyway, it's close, but I mean, I wouldn't be chasing shares now. Should be on board. I'll be worried about chasing now. We'll have a look anyway later on this afternoon. Okay. Before I got to answer Albert's question, don't forget the guys like Fi and Ken, don't worry about it. But those guys don't have a micro, don't understand what the difference in a micro or micro nano account, a normal NAS account. I'm doing a bit of an hour chit chat on Zoom later on today. Today at 1 o'clock. Okay, just about an hour or so. Just going through that, some basic stuff to try and get people get involved in NAS and the down. Now it's more affordable. You guys in here, I think you're all aware of it, so I don't think there's much point. But if you're still not, still join me. We just concentrate for now, trying to get newer guys to get the NAS micro so they can do it. So I'm just mentioning that I'll give you that choice. But if you know all about it, well, there's not much point. It'll be basic stuff. Okay. Okay, just a reminder. Where are we? Okay, yeah, signals. Just write this down. Give me a second. I'll put the details down. Give me a moment, guys. Okay, but it's with pleasure, Manbury. I mean, you can fire up. Actually, it might be good to have you there because I flounder a bit or try, I'm explaining in the not correct way. You might help me up and say, you know, how about explain this way? Maybe you'd be there to give me a bit of a hand. Sometimes use 6 letter words and 6 syllable words and one will lose something. But yeah, just basically, I'm trying to go to the mass of it. It always worries me that happens because I think I'll lose a few people. But I'll try and go get people acquainted with it and basically getting them off the demo. That's the thing. We even think of cancelling the demo altogether. Too many people playing around it because they're too damn scared. This way is getting the real thing without being too risky. That's the idea. Okay, where were we? Signals. Okay, yeah. I can write my name down here. Okay, okay, that's my WhatsApp number. Right, sorry guys. I know most guys know this is a bit boring, but I just want to clear out for Alfred there, maybe 1 or 2 other new guys. Okay, I've got a WhatsApp group called a QT WhatsApp group. And I put guys on there who've got 150 or 2,500 Rand minimum balance. Now, if they go up, that's great. But if they go and it drops below those figures, I'm not going to take you off the WhatsApp group. I'm going to still post the banners or whatever that comes through from the office on one of my signals, and I'll still send the daily updates. That's not a problem. Where the issue is you won't get the details of the signals sent to you. Not if they're late, nobody's going to get it. But in theory, let's say Anna Marie gets one and John Smith doesn't, and they're both receiving, you know, the banners or whatever my QT group is because Anna Marie's got an account above 2.5 and the balance is still there. John Smith had one at 2.8, but he did a bad trade yesterday. Now it's at 2.4. He slipped below the line. I can't remember the right word for it. So he slipped below the line of 2.5. So therefore he won't get sent that extra signal. Hope we're clear on that. Okay. So what is it about the extra group there? It's for extra signals for those who can afford to take them. It's absolutely, there's no point in sending out, we used to in the past, willy-nilly signals to everybody, and they don't understand it. They go into the whole bloody lot of them and find they're overexposed and they get margin. Don't understand why. They're trading with lack of knowledge, basically. So if you haven't got 2.5, it's no point anyway even asking for the signal because you won't be able to take them all. So let's say we get out one now for gold. Now that will probably be sent to everybody. That will be put on the MT5 platform. And that's all a guy with a few $100 or 1,000 or whatever it can do. You haven't got enough money. Even if you've got a high leverage account, it doesn't matter. You can start getting overexposed. So that's it. Now we come up with a GBP, JPY, and the euro dollar. That will be sent to the guys with more Tom, which will be the VIP group. So basically, to be a member, you let me know, you WhatsApp me, and I'll upgrade you. But you're getting all the VIP signals today, but if it drops below that figure, you won't. You just get the normal ones. Well, not the normal ones, the basic, not the basic ones, you know, the smaller Tom guys one. I'm trying to think of the way of getting it across. The bottom line is, if 2.5 is just a figure of a minimum. If you can put in 3.5, 4, you'll always be above it. But if you're borderline at 2.5 and you drop below it, they have a check each morning. Excel spreadsheet says John Smith is now 2.4. He's not going to get it. But the guy the day before who didn't tell me about the group, he won't get the update. He was on 2.3 yesterday. He went to GBP USD, did well. Now he's above 2.5. He would automatically get that extra signal. So what I do on that, when I get the banner, I just upload it to that. And the reason being is just to remind people that signals should be coming through on their WhatsApp. And some guys are not receiving it. Don't quite know why. It might be because, like Anna-Marie had a problem where the WhatsApp number they had in the office was a different the one she was using. But Dirk was getting it, she wasn't for that reason. So we can only send the ones on the system. But the bottom line is, you've got my number now. I can assist on 500 Rand above if you want the advice or whatever, and 2.5, just let me know and I'll upload you, or $150. Below 500 Rand, I can't help you. I just can't. I can't offer you any value, and quite frankly, I get very busy, and it's just too little. I'm going to be honest with you. If you've got a few $100 in there, 200 or 300 Rand, you're utterly and totally and completely undercapitalized. You cannot trade successfully without the capital. It's just not going to happen. You might say you have, but I have no doubts. Too limited what you can do. And you sit all your eggs in one basket, you can't diversify. And if you try, you're overexposed. Trying to compete in the Formula One race with a bicycle. No. No, I said more than 2,500 Rand, not 500. 500 Rand you get on the MT5. Everyone will get that. And then as long as you've got 500 Rand or more, and anyone 2.5 grand or more will get any extra two. We got 3 out yesterday. 1 was sent for everyone on the MT5, the other 2 the VIP. So you've got to go there, Brent. It's a very long-winded way of putting it. Get lost myself sometimes. I hope you sort of get it. So Gladys, yeah, if you got more than 2.5, you should have got the extra ones. If you didn't, I'm not quite sure why, because I know other people said they're receiving all right. So I don't know why you didn't, unless, you know, the number we got on the system here is different to your actual WhatsApp number. You know, when you signed up. So if you do change your WhatsApp number, you've got to tell us, or we don't know that. So clearly, got some windy way of putting it. I got 1,000,000 cents there. Yes, thank you for that, Vicky. Waffling around there, getting something tied up. Got the idea. Thanks for lighting it. Yeah, it's a good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah, it's a continual problem, this load shedding, but yeah. Tell this new minister, forget his name now, it's going to, what miracle he's going to do. Well, I know it's got to be done, but they won't do it. Too proponent. But you have to be very clever to know what needs to be done. Implement, you get people who know it's going to be hectic. Just laugh, just flashing the screen. Hawkish power lifts US dollar to multi-month highs. How's that? About 12 hours after, more than 12 hours after the event, they're letting me know. Thanks very much. Okay. I'm afraid, Ken, this is the problem when you got no credibility, and you get a terrible, terrible brand name. This guy might be a super guy. He might be brilliant. He might be a saintly with ethics, etc. But the first impression you get when you say another minister, what do you think? Another freeloader, another overpaid bloody bureaucrat with yeah, what I'm going to say, another overpaid freeloading bureaucrat. First thing that comes into your mind. And the problem is when you lose that brand name, even this talk, nobody's listening anymore. Did you hear what so-and-so said yesterday? People weren't listening because they don't trust you. And that is one of the biggest problems they have with the collective at the moment in the government is, oh, we will change. But, you know, you've been saying it for the last 25 years. You get my point. So when it's very easy to lose a brand name, it takes years to build a brand name. And their brand name, unfortunately, is as bad as it gets. The trust levels are basically zero. It's a bit like, sorry to say this quite nasty, it's like when you park the robots in Joburg and a guy sticks his head in the man and said, can you lend me £50? I'll give it back to you tomorrow. What is the chance you're going to believe that? You know what I mean? Pretty small, because the branding is not good. Okay, when you go and buy an Apple or a Samsung, a branded name good, you hand over the money and you haven't even taken out the bloody box yet, and you get home and take it out because you trust they've got the brand name, and that's what it's about. Their brand name is terrible. So unfortunately, that's the issue. And everyone starts blaming on this, that, and the other. No, it's not blaming anything. Your brand name is not good. And yeah, so another minister, what he can say, I think most people come there, first thing you say, another guy on over £1 million, probably a lot more than a couple of £1 million a year, coming out of the budget the taxpayers to pay for, and another bloody bloated bureaucrat. You know, not half he did, took a hell of a risk there. You know, I mean, your life's at stake there, Ken. That was a hell of a risk. Admire him, but I don't know, I think he's very happy. But most of it's common sense. We know it anyway. We just don't want to say it. Like we're all new to this. And I remember dollar round was about 17. And so we've got new guys every around there. I'm going to ask you a straight question. Would everyone look to buy the round or sell the round? I don't think one person out of everybody there think of buying the round. And why? You have to be hiding the hole in the ground not to realize one. This is the issue. And they're all toting around it, flowery words, but they're not grasping the nettle. 60% of the people have got to go, and there'll be a national strike on that because they're not earning their keep. If they were Dion's, they let them go. Private sector let them go. When you're a bureaucrat, they just keep you on because you're not earning money. You're scrounging off the taxpayer. Thank you. URCAD. You want to long it on it 4 hour? Except, mate, I'm not too sure. I think I see what you're getting at. There's a bit of a line here. You see where the crosshair is? A little bit of support there. It came off, came up again, but Trump's not really getting going. I'm not too sure about things. Oh, yeah, and again, don't forget, I think something coming out at 12, just to remind me. That's my excuse, I'm sticking to it. Might rescue me, because I'm not sure. Yeah, Lagarde speaking at 12. There you are. Don't forget that, and that's only a couple hours' time. I'm not sure about that. I need a bit of help on that. Morris, anybody out there? Anyone see a buy on this one? 145 seems to be holding. It's in the buy zone. They get that. Punch it a bit. It's in the buy zone. It came back. Some buyers came in. What's the follow through yesterday? 45 pips. I'm not too sure about that. Yes, he is. But then we got the ADP today, and then we got jobless tomorrow, and the non-farms on Friday, which should be a major indication of the way forward. Not out of the fundamental news. Yeah, still got till Friday afternoon. I'm not sure about this. Morris, anyone any opinions on this for a buy? 14517, only 7 pips away. It's practically there now. Remember, you're getting on the buy or the arse, same thing. It's a virtual market now. Yeah, the funding, but you hang on to the funding. I would fight you that. I hate saying no, and the thing shoots up, and now you're fed up. But I'm not gonna. I'll wait for the fund this year. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit quiet actually. I think it was quite good yesterday. We found some trades out of nowhere. See, remember you mentioned about GBP AUD earlier on, got a bit of a bounce around about the round figure. See that? Well, practically got to the round figure. Maybe with the spread, it got to the round figure, had a bit of a bounce. So you can come off a bit from there. But whatever, you're in a nice profit. See if you can break the 179. Trust you all are modified to protect yourself. Don't leave the winning trade. Yeah, thanks. Okay, we'll move on that one. Fine at 12 o'clock, yeah. I just thought Chuma come in there. I mentioned something about partly closing to release margin. Does anybody not know how to part close trade? I'm sorry, guys, a bit quiet at the moment. So Anna Marie find it, Ken, etc. might find this a bit on the boring side, but I think it's important. Some people still don't understand this. If you got, let's say, 10 micros and you want to bank 5 or 1 or 2, you don't have to close the entire position. You can bank part of it. In other words, like I say, you don't have to. You've got make it a GBP AUD. You've got, let's say, 0.04. That's 4 micros. And you can bank one of those micros, let the other 3 run. Probably a bit better English. You can do that. You don't have to close the entire position. If you're worried about a margin call and you haven't got money to come and put in your account to top up the margin, but you're worried about getting the whole lot closed through a margin call, you can release margin back into your account by closing part of that position. So do you all know what I mean by that? And do you all know how to do that? Because that's important. If you don't or wonder what the hell I'm on about, please say so. Because it is important. Don't forget your pride, put your hand up if you don't know, because it's important. I thought you knew that, Morris. You don't have to close the entire position. Okay, I haven't got anything in this account to do it and get a demo or something sorted out on this thing. Put some money, I don't know, whatever. But what you do is, it's quite simple. You've got here, what's this, the GBP AUD, right? Doesn't matter, make it the NAS. It's actually irrelevant, but just as an example. So I use this one as an example. You've got GBP AUD, time you went in, the type, going long or short, the volume, 0.04, 4 micros, the price you got in, stop loss TP, the price is the moment, your swap fees, interest on the balance, your profit loss. You're worried about your free margin. It's getting near 0. You're worried about getting margin called. You want to release some free margin and you got 0.04 volume. All you do, see what the volume is, not there or there for modifying your stop loss. You just double click on there and a box comes up. You put in what you want to close. You got 4 micros. Let's say you want to close just 1. You put 0.01, go to the yellow bar, click on it, and 1's banked, and you'll have now 0.03. If that's still not enough margin, you might have to close another one. But that's how you do it. Is that all clear, Chuma? I mentioned that this morning. I'm not sure you're clear on it. Because you can't open that account for higher leverage and transfer open trade money. It's got to be closed, but you don't want to do that. And if you don't want to put more money in, or you can't put more money in, and you're worried about getting the margin, if you margin call, the entire position will be closed, which you don't want. Okay, so you can give some margin back by partly closing. Are we on the same page? No, not at all. I will use this example, Myron. You've got your house you're living in, and you have 2 other properties, and you've got some financial problems. So what do? Do you sell both the houses? No, you sell one of them. That will solve it. Why sell both? Keep the other one, sell the other one to release money so you can pay off your debt. You get the idea. So no time for partial closing on Friday. Yeah, okay, yeah. And we don't get clever here. Trying to get people to understand this. I know what you mean. Yeah, when it moves like that, that's too much. Well, I suppose you could, in a way, you could double click on there, have it ready, put in that and have it ready. Let's say you got 5 and you want to close 2, and put 002 in, and then when you want, click the yellow button up in front of you. Or you want to close a whole lot, double click again, and then have your, don't put your cursor on the yellow bar. You might, somebody calls out, hello, Anne-Marie, by the way, do you want a cup of tea? Yes, please. You click by mistake and you're out. Now you're annoyed. Naturally, that will go. Once you do that, it'll shoot up. This is called Murphy's Law, in the direction you want. Now you're annoyed. So have the yellow bar there and keep them just a little bit away from it. So if you click by mistake, you're going to knock yourself out. And then you want to just move it up to the yellow bar, click, you're out. Or if you want to partly close, quickly put in what you want to partly close there and keep that handy. And then if you want, bang, and then you can do it again. So have it handy there. I'm not sure what Najib is, but anyway. Yeah, okay. Sorry, Morris. Not just Morris. Are we all clear on that? Go through it again. You've got to know how to do that because, so I'm bringing up the tumor. That will help you to release margin. Because if you don't, and you get margin called, that's, you've got a big position there, and it suddenly moves down before it goes in the direction you want, or up if you're going short, direction you want, the whole lot will be closed, and now you're annoyed. So keep that margin. Have a look at your free margin. It's got to be above 80%. You're going to get margin call. The biggest position, whatever, they'll just be automatically closed. No matter whether you like that one another one, it's not your choice. It'll automatically close. So keep an eye. I'm suggesting you try and keep the free margin above 100%. Then you're okay. Just do that. But if you see it dropping below and you're getting a bit worried, you can always close part of your position. Are we all? Right. So, I thought you all knew that. I thought you knew that, Morris. You'll know it now. So you could have released part of it. All right. I mean, you know, you take a slight loss in that one. Let's say you got 10. Let's say you got 10 micros. 0.1's a mini. 1 mini is 10 micros. You got 10 micros. You're worried a little about it, but you want to hold on to it. Close maybe 2. If that's insufficient, close another one until you've got enough margin to play with. Anybody not understand that? Anyone to run that by, because it's important. Got to keep an eye on that margin. You don't. That is the collateral. The margins are collateral. Like the deposit when you buy a car or a house is collateral. Take away the collateral, they'll call in the loans, like any business. So make sure you got free margin. And right, you got free margin. Now you get a trade signal. You've got to make sure, will I have enough margin for going on this? Bloody hell, I won't. So you're going to have to pass the signal, put more money in. If you can't put more money in, you're going to pass the signal. Do not get yourself where you got very small free margin. Any movements you open trade in the noise up and down, even if they're right, the margin call, you're not in and you're frustrated and annoyed. So keep that margin. Are we all clued up? Well, I thought you would, Ken, but I'm talking about newer guys. Are we clear on that? Anybody not? Because if you're not, put your hand up. Don't worry, forget your pride, mate. You've got to understand this. Because these little things we can tweak. What's going to happen to pound bloody AUD the next half an hour? I don't know. Nobody does. But that's the market for you. But these things we can tweak and not to make silly mistakes with them, which can be costly and very annoying. Absolutely, we can't close them. I mean, I haven't got yours in front of me, so I can't give examples, and I wouldn't anyway, because it's nothing to do with anybody else. I obviously have to know, you do, you know, we're broadcasting out there situation. But if you particularly like going into, I don't know, Euro USD, very good technical, and the fund has come out and it's looking a very high probability one, and you haven't got time to put more money in, or you can't put more money in, then you can say, right, this one's a hell of a slow. It's a bit of a profit at the moment. I've got, let's say, 13 micros or 20 micros or whatever it is. Maybe knock off a few of them. It's enough margin to exit the other trade. Let the rest run. Are we all clear on that? Because these sort of things need to be grasped. And this we can control. You see what I mean, Tomby and guys? We can control this. That's the beauty of it. And it's not really, I'm not saying that for any other reason, it's not that difficult. Ask Farley. It's a lot easier than trying to get a chemical engineering doctorate. But trust me, well, trust me, I haven't got one, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. It just made me aware of it. Like Mara's been trained for a while, and you wasn't aware of it. So now we are. So thanks for the call, Eshum. I hope you get sorted there. It made a trigger just to bring this up. I might do it a bit more often, because I'm convinced some guys have been trained for a few months, didn't know that. Now they do. And the new guys won't make those mistakes. They're coming in new and getting it fresh off the press. So, Andrews, you got that? Benny, you've got that. Toomey, you got that. Diamore, some new names in there. Have you all got that? Jacob, Joshua? I think Lebahan probably would have. I'm damn sure Lorenzo knows it. Marjorie, I hope you're all know. MD, if you come back online, yes, you are good. Merrill, quite a few new names there, all with it. Thank you. I'm going to ask you another phrase. I want some great stuff. That's what I want to see. But I also want it, well, I know you've got it. But I mean, yeah, what I want to see is anybody going to put a no up there? Isn't that Jim? It's a name. I see what you mean. Got the name now. Beg your pardon. Right, the next one, anybody not, because I'll do it again with pleasure. Very, very, very important. Saves you a lot of stress. And don't forget, while you're thinking whether to put no or not, don't forget having a higher leveraged account and you've got limited sums of money won't really help your cause. It just means it's going to tempt you to go too big. You should still have your risk, which is a 200 Rand is your risk per trade. Whether you've got 1,000 or 50 to 1 leverage, doesn't mean to say, oh, I'm going bigger because I can, because my deposit margin is smaller. Stick to that. I'm sorry, guys, it without doubt, I'm sorry, the guy heard me say it so many times, without doubt, the biggest killer in this business is incorrect position sizing. Remember, it is without doubt the problem. You've got to get that basic arithmetic. Math's a big word, basic arithmetic. Very, very important. You can't grasp it before you trade further, because that's coming back and biting. And never mind, you did well in the last trade of GBP USD. But it went well, but whams, it didn't. You've got a problem. Not a problem, Badran. That's okay. We'll do it quickly again. You've got 1 micro, nothing you can do about that. That's the smallest lot size, 0.01. Call that micro. Mini is 0.1, which is 10 micros. A standard lot of 1.0 is 100 micros. Okay. Right. You've got, I'm going to give you an example, 5 micros in the GBP AUD. Don't matter long or short. I'm just using an example, right? Now you've got, sorry, large margins relative, mate. Yeah, it's a bit. I get that, but let's not complicate matters. Just get the idea here. Okay, so you see, you're looking at your margin levels and they're getting a bit low and you're getting a bit worried. You want to, the best way to do it, well, not the best way, one way you can do it is put more money in, basically, but you don't have them extra money to put in. But you're worried about your 5 micro position, which you still think is going to do well, a whole lot being closed due to a margin call. Because even though your stop loss is right down here and the price is here and you're going long for argument's sake, if it comes down there and you've got no margin left, never mind your stop loss is here, that position of 5 micro is going to get closed. You're probably overexposed anyway. So what you do is you close part of it. Now to release margin in, let's say you try closing 2 micros, leaving you with 3. You just go into highlight the one you want to part close. It happens to be in this case GBP AUD. Gives you all information there. See what it says volume. The box below. Double click. You try it now. You don't have to close. Just see what I'm talking about. A box comes up. You'll see the volume says 0. Whatever it does. Doesn't really matter. And you put in 0.02 for example. Then you click the yellow bar to a bank. You've got 5 of them will change to 3 micros, and your margin levels increase because obviously your bank put money back in your account. Are we good on that, Badru? Do it once more. Okay. Highlight the one you want. You don't want to do the GBP AUD, so you highlight this one, which is a euro dollar. Now euro dollar, you highlight it, right? You got 6 micros in there, and you're getting worried about a margin call. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to close the entire 6. I'm going to bank and say 3. Double click here, put in 0.03, pick the yellow bar, 3 a bank, 3 a left, more free margin. For as Mario says, he wants to go in another trade right at this instant. He doesn't, but let's pretend he does. It looks a high probability. He's been stuck in the euro dollar for the last week, going bloody nowhere. He's in a slight profit, solid. I'm going to release some margin. I don't put more money in. I've got, let's say, 10 micros there. I'm going to close 5 of them. I've released them now. I can go and do the other trade if you don't put more money in. You got it. GBP, you should have already, sorry, Vicky. Sorry, I'm going to say, because you should have actually modified already the GBP AUD. Should have already done that. It should have been modified now. Keep distance to break even or slight profit, just to protect. Hope we get a breakthrough the round figure for more profit on that one. Okay, so you understand that, Badru. Are we all good with that? Please say so. I'll do it again. It is so important. In the meantime, we'll go there. What do you want to do about the CAD? A pleasure. Thank you for putting your hand up. Good. At least got that. I might make a habit of this if you guys come in, because I'm pretty sure what triggered it, some of the guys we trained for, I didn't know it. So if they didn't know it, maybe as an overall issue where most don't. Not sure why it's not explained in the platform training. Don't know why. It should be. There it is. Okay, Baba, US dollar, Canadian. Stop loss. You said, are you in it? I don't know where you went in, but you talked about closing. It's hovering a bit. I think you mentioned it earlier on. Put down to an hour. How far away is that? Make it 137.30, 1.3730. There you are. That should, I don't know what price you got in, but I'm assuming at 1.3730, you got 25 pip breathing space and you shouldn't be in a profit. So if that's, are you happy with that? Good. Clearly, if you went in at that, I mean, you've got to use some common sense, you know what I mean? Don't say modify there to entry and you got in at 137.45, then it's completely ridiculous because it's only 9 pips away. I'm assuming you got in around about these levels out of the hourly chart, down here somewhere. If you put it to 137.30, you should have a nice built-in profit, see if it breaks upwards. If it doesn't, you're going to get stopped down the profit. I'm always very reluctant to say get out of it. In case, you know, it's just, yeah, I leave that in your hands to modify or take off. I take it you took the Brent because I was a bit worried about it. We had a long trade, so I couldn't suggest going short. I sort of hinted around it. I didn't know I was still here and what was left. But the bottom line is, I think you went on that, and you should be doing okay. But yeah, so most of the guys, I think, should have been stopped out of the Brent run with a modified stop loss. Okay. Do we short it here? No. Leave it alone for now. Are we on the same page? Anything you're not sure about? Is anything ambiguous what I say or you're not sure of it? Make sure clarity. You forgive me, I do this every day and sometimes I rattle a bit quickly, but then I just slow down or do it in a way you understand. That's the problem. Okay, right. So don't chase it now, but in theory, I think anybody still in Brent? Anybody there still in Brent? Just let me know. On a long, which was the original signal. I think most guys are out on a profit. I'm modifying. You're still in Brent, fine. Okay, on the long. Okay, well, I hope you've modified to break even. There's about 81 if you can't remember. Okay, make sure you don't loosen it to come off a bit. You might continue. If that dollar strengthens, remember that oil is in dollars, and a stronger dollar means guys outside the dollar zone are paying higher prices because of the exchange rate. So it could come down a bit further. But don't buy or sell at the moment, but just protect. Do not lose. That's a winning trade. Got us 86 at one stage. Beautiful winning trade. Do not lose it. Protect. Okay. Hope you're clear on that. If you want more details, let me know and we'll go on more. Got it. Good. Yeah, I see a short on this one. We're on an hourly chart. Consolidate at the moment. Had a big nice run yesterday. We understand why and all the rest of it. Do I see more downside? I think so. I'm not sure what Powell's going to say tonight out of what he said yesterday. What's going to suddenly change? So I think it's going to be the same QA and same sort of answer. Let me read something out, how market reacts on what he says here. Just want to take a paragraph, get my point. To quote, yeah, if just one paragraph in this, if the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we were prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes. That's it. No sodding kidding. I mean, obviously, has that any different what he's been saying before? No. He's been open for the last, I don't know, a couple of years or whatever, that he wants to bring inflation down. And the tool he's got at his disposal is an interest rate. It takes time on the change interest rate to filter through to the market, but he's keep an eye on it. If it's not working, they'll have to continue with the medicine. If it is working, they won't. What is so bloody complicated about that? There's no more than that. And look at the attack on the markets. You know, oh, Powell might put interest rates up a bit more than expected. Bang, 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 bang. He said nothing there that I could have told you that. This is how jittery and emotional people are. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And that's why it worries me that, because you try to work on a fairly rational basis, but this sort of emotion, it takes over the rational, and then you get caught out in it when it makes no sense. It's just overacting emotionally. So what's he going to say tonight? He hasn't been saying yesterday, and the week before, the month before. I don't know. No. So just to reiterate the same. But what we don't know is what the emotional take, or perception, and the reaction to that will be. And that part is the part that makes me nervous. But we're all understanding that. So do I see a short on this? Absolutely yes. Do I see it market? Yes, I do. But be bloody careful. That's why Michael might help you. In case the market does something that makes no sense or react emotionally to the wrong piece of information. Got the stomp it, the wrong end of the stick, or whatever it has to be. Putting all that together, it's consolidating. I can't see what reason it could just suddenly shoot up. So, but we get a wide enough stop loss, put it back in the daily. How far is this? Put it up here. Yeah, put the stop up there, just above 5. On a micro, you're going to do okay. If you want to look at the risk calculator, can. If you don't, I wouldn't be long in that, no. Well, it depends on what it is. Number one, it's at 12 o'clock. Number two, it might have an independent move for a short time, but the overall reaction will be following the NAS and the Dow and the S&P. I'll give you an example. Look at the daily chart on this. See this? Let's have a look. I haven't looked at German 30, so don't prove me wrong yet. You get the idea. Almost, well, it's come off her, not quite. But it tends to follow it, is what I'm saying. So if you expect more downside the markets, I wouldn't be buying the FTSE or the German 30. I wouldn't be touching much. I'd stick with the NAS. But if you like it, I'd be looking to set it down, or FTSE down. It might jump a bit. 12 o'clock, I don't know. But the overall picture is, even though it's in the buy zone there, it might be okay, but eventually it will follow. Not exactly. But yeah, but any case, whatever, Marius, I would do it till 12 o'clock anyway. But I'm a bit loath to buy in the market. On to the NAS, going back to that, if you want to take a punt with a wide stop above here, just take it down here, we can get a risk reward. I'll put it up anyway, see what I mean. On the micro, it's not too bad. Make sure it's the micro, not the normal one, too expensive, unless you've got plenty of time. Put higher, and TP down here. 11668, plus minus. Maybe a little bit low. TP is going to. I don't want to put a tighter stop. I like to have a wide stop. Maybe that'll do. Not quite. It's okay. It's just about 1.5. $60 a micro, so you can afford that. Might be in a couple of days, but if it does come off, at least you're on board. If it goes up, well, you're not going to lose a fortune. And it's a wide stop. It's nicely out the way. Over 300 pips out the way. which is fine. If you like the risk, you understand it. Okay. Okay. If you don't like this, we'll look at the Dow's another one. Possibly on that one. Okay, if you don't have the micro lots, you do, Marius, I've checked, you've got it, it's in a separate account. What you do is you go to the portal. If you can't get it on this account, you go to the portal, another one, and choose the micro option. Because you've got one, I know you have. Just need to put some buckaroos in it. So it might be separate or might come on the same. For some reason, mine's on the same. Anyway, open up by going to the portal, open another account, micro. Yeah. Okay. We'll go to Microsoft, look at this one. This is unfortunately not going to work. It's too far. You want to stop up here, we're talking about 600 pips. Too far, leave it alone. Microsoft, I think that ship sailed. And we don't know what's going to open it. The beauty is it will open at 4:30, power speaking at 5, and you might give an opportunity if you expect him to eat, which I don't see why I shouldn't continue slightly off his start. So it's not changing his tune, maybe, but I don't know. The original trade up here, which was recommended, well, was correct. Not at the moment. You have a bounce here. I don't know. I wouldn't be. I think leave it for the moment. We'll have a look maybe at 4:30 on opening, but I think that's just having said that, let's have a look. We'll get some cute. How far is it down here? $1.70 odd. $7 not going to work. Only way you can do that is you've got to go about $12. That's not going to work. Yeah, you got to take it down here somewhere. I think try and get a better price. Yeah, I agree with you. Can you get the maths? Can you get the right risk reward? That's $6 away, and $3 far too tight a stop. You with me, Cam? Well, we're waiting. Most of those ships are sailed to longer. We'll time if you like. Quickly. That ship sailed. I'm rejoicing it now. You with me on the daily? We get a Brute on the euro dollar, on the GBP dollar. Hope you took that. We've been smiling now. Euro dollar, not only 5 o'clock. The ship sailed. We've also got Lagarde speaking at 12. So, and we might even a technical bounce. Anything could happen. So that's not worth chasing. I'm talking about entering now. I wouldn't be chasing the pound at the moment. That was a Butte. Wouldn't be chasing it now. Same story. I wouldn't be chasing it now. Some guys took it. Now we're thinking either modifying stop or taking profit. Again, don't chase it now. And the dollar yen, I like, but you've got to do a fantastically wide stop to make it worth your while. But I do like it. But it's got to be a hectic stop. I'll show what I mean. Maybe 141.20. That I do like. Maybe you have to go slightly wider TP to get a risk reward, but never mind that. Look at the risk. Over 300 rand a micro. So a minimum of 5 grand in your account to go for 1 micro. See my point? But that I like the trade, but the problem is to make it work with all the noise around us, you do need a wide stop. So if you like the trade, you can afford it and you're not tying up your margin. If you've got 50K, and you haven't got enough margin, don't bother. If you've got enough margin and you've got over 5K with enough free margin, you might like this one. That one I do like, but my problem is to say, is to make it work, you need a very wide stop. and you'll have to get seriously hawkish to come flying off back there. Sorry, dovish. I mean, the dollar come right way back. And that again, I'm sorry, guys, to put more worry. It might happen on non-farm day. If the job figures are way down than the expect, I think it's 200 expected. Check again tomorrow, or rather Friday. If it's way down below that, it might have a weakening of the dollar, and then that can come off. But I think if you can afford it, that's probably about the best they've got at the moment. But it's a longish term, probably will certainly going until Monday, unless the fundies knock it out, and then put a wide stop. So there you are. That's the only dollar pair I'll be chasing at the moment. Okay, any questions on that? Have you all got the calculator here? Very important. Don't use it on shares. If you want to do shares, you've got to go to your LMS, go to resources, it should sit there somewhere. Okay, but for shares, you need this one. I hope you've all got it. Solid applied way of saying doing bugger all. I'm not frustrated with this one. I'm getting greedy, like all to win. Yeah. This is rescues from down here, eh? So maybe just have a little move back up again. We'll see. It'd be quite right consolidating. Still down, but it's not a total disaster as yet. A lot better than yesterday. GBP, can we check gold for sure? I'm not sure about that, Ken. As mentioned earlier on this morning, I see probably a $4 or $5 range as it ambles about, waiting to see the next bit of news coming out. Just as it's come off a lot, there will be some profit taking and there will be some emotional buyers buying the strategy that's come off, it must go up sort of attitude. But apart from that, gold, in my opinion, is going to have to wait for more fundamental news, whether it's going to recover or break 1800. I don't know which way it's going to go. I think there's a good chance it's going to break 1800 personally. I think chain for a bull into a bear, in my personal opinion, but I'm not enough to say I'd go for a trading for short. I just let it go sideways, and it's going to need a kick from fundamentals to push that either below 1800 or back up to 1850. Remember, Swiss franc's also pretty strong. I always like to buy a strong one and sell the weak one. You're buying the dollar, therefore you're selling the Swiss franc, and that, for economic reasons, is pretty strong. Happy with that knowledge? Okay, happy with that. Good. Where are we? Let's see. Some of the office want something. Give me a second. Okay, so that's why I'm a little bit here with the dollar, but then you manage to send the Swiss franc. On this one here, it's come back. Actually, not too bad. Technically, must have been not too bad. It's come back and tested it. There's quite a strong resistance here. Put a line to make it even clearer. Quite a strong support there in this case, and it's backed up by the 100-day moving average. Clear on there. So is that going to hold? Technically speaking, not a bad one. And the buyers are coming on the 4-hour. Okay, actually, to be honest here, the only thing that's holding me back, I'm sorry, is I'm a bit, maybe it's me, maybe I'm a right big chicken or whatever. I'm just a little bit reluctant to sell the Swiss franc. It makes me nervous. Other than, but on a technical basis, I have to say I agree. I like it. If you perceive more dollar strength coming through, which seems to be likely, technically speaking, you might get a jump up. But the reason I gave about nerves on the Swiss franc, otherwise technically it's not bad. I agree. Pretty good actually, well spotted. Do anyone want to try this one, or you're a bit worried about selling the franc basically? Any views on that? Because technically it's well spotted basically. Well, you see where I'm coming from. My little bit reservation on it for that reason. But let's say well spotted. What do you think, guys? We agree, yeah. Because I just want to give a quick background. I know most of them know, but just in case, okay. It's not reliant like a lot of other countries, Switzerland. It doesn't get involved in wars. It doesn't have to worry about manufacturing. It hasn't got massive population, massive expensive social programs, which cost the taxpayer a lot of money. And on top of it, it's very regimented culture and psychologically, which is a plus. Might make it a bit boring, but at least is a plus from an economic perspective. And more to the point, it's where people like to stash their money. Okay. I mean, the Cayman Islands are tiny, tiny islands where they're in the Caribbean somewhere. Tiny little islands. And there's, which the Grand Cayman, one of them, it's got about $300 billion set in that tiny island, which you can about cycle across in a day. And it's all from around the world sitting there because it keeps the money away from all the countries' tax grabbers. Gets the dirty little fingers off the grabbing tax man, you know what I mean? And no doubt quite a bit of illegal money there as well. They're a little bit more open than the past in Switzerland, but it's still a place where you put your money and you keep it out of the way of others who want to grab it, like the tax man and whatever. So as a result of that, it's pretty damn stable, okay? One of the major problems of the West is their social programs. Although it's nice to be caring about people, but unfortunately, downside it costs. And older people not working, sick are not working, people who can't find jobs not working, they're all getting a salary. Might not be over here, but over there they are, it's costing. Now, a large amount of people can't afford to pay for the medical, they get it for free. And there's an enormous amount of these social programs, which are lovely stuff, etc. When you need it, fantastic. But there's more and more people, especially in the Eurozone, moving in there to take advantage of it. So it's getting like 10 givers and 20 takers. That's causing a bit of an imbalance and problem. That's why they're battling a bit. Are we part of the West, the Wild West? Yeah, we're part of the Wild West, yeah. Well, I could say that, but then you said, what about part of the East? The future that's looking forward at the moment, it looks like the East is the next running the world. China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, they're the ones that are flying. Singapore's number one of everything. Highest rating in mass, highest rating in this, highest rating in that, highest rating in IQ per person, the whole bloody catastrophe. You see, again, I hear you, Ken. I hear you. It's nice and low. It could get a bounce there. And it could well do that, a profit-taking bounce, and emotionally it's low. Some people take it on that specific strategy. But like I see, Bongo and I were just saying earlier on, you buy the AUD, you sell the Swiss franc. The dollar is stronger than AUD. If you're holding back buying the dollar against the Swiss franc, why would you buy a weaker currency against the Swiss franc? Just because it's down there. I would do it. I'll sell the rally on that one. Gets back up here somewhere. How far away is that? 62.60. It's only 40, 50 pips away. Not that fast, like 150 pips away. You get the point. It's only what? You're right now, exactly. Yeah, 47 pips away. Call it 50 pips away. Sell it down. If you can get a 50 pip bounce, I'll look at selling it. Sell the rally, but I wouldn't preempt a jump in case it doesn't materialize and continues down. But again, you see what I'm coming with, Kenny, guys. If you're frightened of selling the franc against the dollar, why would you want to sell against a weaker currency like AUD? At the moment, the dollar is stronger. It might not be this 2 days ago. I'm talking about now. And you get my thinking. Yeah. Well, actually, reasonably volatility, but let's wait till the next situation occurs. Yeah. See the thinking. See what I'm saying here, Siabonga? Yeah. If you don't want to sell the Swissy against the dollar, US, why would you sell it? Yeah. Always remember, you want to buy that, automatically you're selling the other. Keep an eye on what you're trying to sell. Not difficult, we just sometimes miss it. Bloody slow is also true, yeah. Most is going to be a bit slow going forward after big movements yesterday. Normal story. It's like taking a rest after you had a three round pummeling from a top boxer. Take a rest. GBP CHF is 101, but we're trying to get a better price. I'm not sure get numbers yet, probably solid. Yeah, it's getting a bit better. Anyone take this one? I have to say you're selling the pound, the weaker one, against one of the stronger ones on the 4 hour. So we get a TP here. Get a TP down there. I do quite like it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have to have a wide stop of 100 pips, but I think we can do it if you like it. Got to do at least 150. How's that? How's that? Good. Just about squeezing in there. You do it. See if anyone likes it. 1.0992. Could be a slightly bigger, better, risk reward, but yeah. 12 o'clock. The guards, 12 o'clock. No one key? Okay. Well, I need a bit of support from you guys. I was thinking if you liked it, I'll post on the WhatsApp group we sent out to the VIP group. We can't send to the normal guys and then below 2.5. The deposit's 200 rand. They can't afford it. They'll be overexposed. But go to the VIP. But to anybody support this? If not, I'm not going to send it out. Nobody. Okay. Feel like putting it down, even though I'm not doing it, just I told you so. And then keep my mouth shut and quiet and forgetting about it if it goes wrong, not reminding you. Okay, we'll move on. Nobody seems to want to do it. But the only one I can think of it, I'm particularly keen on at the moment. And when Farney's not jumping in and with a yes, and Anna Marie's not jumping in with a yes. Ken doesn't seem to be too keen either. Makes me a little bit sort of back off a bit. I need that bit of moral support. I'm not getting it. Maybe not. I'm not going to stand against the whole thing on my own there. Okay, and I appreciate that. Don't forget, guys, you had a good day yesterday. Anything happened on this one? Good day yesterday. So, just looking through this coming off again. We had a good day yesterday, so maybe just take it easy for a moment and see if we can get something later on. And just saying, the euro coming out at 12. In fact, these funds coming these different times is a serious hassle as well. Are you good there, Doreen? See a couple of new names there. You're not forgotten about. If anything to say, anything you want to know? You've all got the dollar index now. You all got the economic calendar. Oh yeah. Before we shoot off, just remember, right click on the screen, go to templates and save your template. Put in your name and save it. Okay. So if you do lose your charts, I'll just do it quick. It won't take long, guys. I know you know that. A lot of them don't know. You lose your chart by something happens quite a lot, for whatever reason. Okay. Just right click, go to templates, go to the one you like. I like this one here, so I'll do that. Good enough? So don't forget, if you want to know any information about the instrument, just use this one, got it up now, doesn't really matter. Left click, right click, specification, that'll give the contract size, the deposit, etc. And full access means you can buy or sell it. I see the vision of the long, yeah. No, it's gone. Where do we want to take? Yeah, I agree with you, Sibonga. I see the long, but what I don't like the last 3 days, including today, very much indecision. But Lagarde speaking at 12. I'd probably sit on the 1 hour yet, Dick. Sorry. Yeah, if you trace, no, you haven't. You might even get a bit more. I think personally, risk missing out with Lagarde speaking in an hour's time. But I take your point. I can't fault your technical analysis on it, not at all. I'm just worried about his exterior things that can stuff us around. The wind could change. All good? Okay, Anna Marie, good stuff. See you later. All good. Okay, just to wind up some of the newer people, just want to make sure you've saved your templates, you know about specifications to get the information that you need. And you've also all saved your dollar index and the calendar. And those who've got my number can, if you've got more than 500, and if you have more than $2.5 or $150, just let me know and I'll update you to my QT WhatsApp for daily updates, and then you'll get all top of it extra signals because you've got more money to take it. Simple as that. And if you can, try and get a few more bucks in your account because you're very limited on small amounts because you can't, all your eggs have to be in one basket. You got about $1,000, you can't get 2 or 3 trades, you have enough margin, so you can maybe take the wrong one instead of the right one by bad luck. So try and get someone in, then you can diversify. If you can't, you can't, but if you can, for your sake, not mine, your sake, suggest you do it. All good, guys? Anything else before we close up for the morning session? Don't forget, if those who want to come, see you at 1 o'clock. Do a quick thing on the micros. Oh yeah, before we go, we've been asked to mention this as well. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I'm just going to put it Some platforms out there other than ours have gold as XAU USD. Just a different name. Donkey, thank you. It means exactly the same, but that's another name for it. So if you trade this one or gold, it makes no difference. Not similar, it's exactly the same. Just a second, I'll answer your question now. Give me a moment. How can I copy it now? Okay, that's at 1 o'clock, just for about an hour or so, which I'll be doing. There's your info there. It's just to just quickly mention about XAU USD and the gold, because some people are more familiar with this particular code than gold or vice versa. It doesn't matter. If you used to gold, stick with it. If you don't like the sound of gold, you like XAU USD, do that. It's the same thing, same price, same everything, same cost, same margin, and there's no difference. The difference is trying to get people to understand they can now trade the NASDAQ and the Dow without getting margin called because they've got a micro account. Just going into details on that. Mainly for newer guys to say, get off the demo, you can do your beloved NASDAQ on a micro without thinking you're going to lose your shirt. Absolutely, it's just a fill in. Probably do it once a week on a Wednesday, and that might be the plan if it works. Well, it's a tester today. You get enough people to respond to it and want to do it. I'll probably do it once every Wednesday. We'll see. I like the CPI and the non-farms doing a special session on Friday afternoon, a special session on Tuesday. Do a straddle trade on those major economic fundamentals coming out to see if we can take advantage of them. They're just special sessions to take advantage. But definitely class at 4, yeah. Hope that makes sense. Okay, any questions? Oh, by the way, don't forget, this coming Sunday, New York is going on to summertime, which means the clocks are going forward 1 hour. So the CPI on Tuesday won't be at 3:30, it'll be at 2:30. And the share markets, the American markets, will be at 3:30, not 4:30. Don't forget that. I'll remind you again on Monday, but just be aware of that. Whatever the idea is there. It might be different to this one. I can't remember this off the top of my head. I think it's the same one. I think it's a slightly different one. It's a slightly different ID, but there's the ID there. Wherever it's used that idea, idea just posted. Okay, you're kicked out of what? So I've just seen that now. Kicked out. Can I go in again? I'm not sure. I went on from there. Don't know what you're kicked out of. Anyway, so are we clear there? So just to clarify, it's that Zoom ID. 1 o'clock, join me there if you want. If you already know about micros, there's not much point, but if you don't, there you go. All good. That's gold. If you're used to gold, use gold. If you just come from MT4 where they use XAU USD and you're used to it, well, use that one. So if you want to buy or sell gold right now, whether you buy this one or gold, doesn't make any difference, exactly the same. Yeah, the Zoom ID I've just posted. I'll post it again. That's a Zoom ID for you. That's for 1 o'clock. Right, we'll all stand. I'll do it again. Just about the micro indices, okay? Nothing particularly new if you already know that. Just going mainly for newer guys. Okay. Thank you, Ntombi. Thank you. And thank you for being such a wonderful person. Cheers, mate. Okay, good stuff. Right. Good enough. I'll catch you later.